My name's Kevin Cassidy, former Gaoth and Donegal player, and here are my milestones with Sports Joe. So that photo was taken in Breffni Park, and it's my first full senior championship debut for Donegal. Special to me because it's something I wanted to achieve. I'd watched a lot of players from the club going on to play for Donegal, and it's something you want to emulate. And although when I came into the panel I was only 19 or 20, which was relatively young back in those days to make your breakthrough, but I was lucky enough that I got my chance, and it was a fantastic day down in Breffni Park that day, and it's a memory that I'll cherish. We went on a good run that year. We played Dublin and the All-Ireland quarter-final in Croke Park. Probably should have beat them that day. We let Dublin back into it. But being young and immature, we decided to go for a night on the town instead of going home on the bus. Looking back now, it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, but we had serious crack in Camden Street that night. That picture's taken probably maybe half an hour after we won the Ulster title in 2011, and it's, I suppose, years of hoping and believing that you would get to that stage, and especially with the two boys. Like, we left Gaoth here, you know, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday religiously for years, and the talk up in the car to training would be, could we reach the summit, could we get that Ulster title, and what it would be like, and what would the feeling and emotion be like, and then actually going to do it then. It was amazing, and then to get to share the moment with the two boys is a really special moment in all of our careers. And I think for Donegal at that point, it was a really statement that, you know, this team had arrived, and you know, we could compete in the big stage. So yeah, definitely a very happy moment, and you know, good 2 or 3 days celebrations afterwards as well. This picture, a lot of people would definitely talk about it to me and ask me about it. It's taken immediately after the last score against Kildare and that famous night in Croke Park. To me, it's special because we had spoken about competing with the top teams, and winning Ulster was a big step for us, but it was always thrown in our faces that when it came to the crunch, we didn't have what it took. Now, that night in Croke Park, it went to extra time. It was a ding-dong game, and that was the very last minute, and the ball came to me, and I just had to go, and it flew over the bar. So it's just sheer emotion that I don't have to go through another period of extra time, I would say. That was my first ever game that my twins got to go. They were only newborn twins, and they travelled to Croke Park, and they were at that game that night. Yeah, a special picture on and off the pitch, I suppose. That picture was taken in Gaelic Park in Chicago after we had won the Chicago Championship. It's special to me in that during that time I was let go of the Donegal panel leading up to that, and Donegal had gone on to win All-Ireland, and obviously I missed out. So after that happened, I had a lot of decisions to make. I had a lot of choices to make. Going to America was one of them, and I took the whole family over, and I went to play for a fantastic club, John McBride in Chicago, and that summer was a real period of growth for me personally. And as soon as I went over there, I realised that life was a hell of a lot bigger than any GA pitch. And although I loved my time on the pitch over there, it was life outside of the pitch that made me open my eyes, really. It's kind of ironic that football gave me that. I'd lost a lot to football that I didn't win, but football also gave me that opportunity to go over there and to experience that, and I definitely came back a much fuller person. That photo was taken immediately after Gaoth beat Crossmaglen in the Ulster Club semi-final to book a place in the Ulster Club, and there's two young lads standing on the outside looking at the team huddle, and one of them is my son Finn, and the other is his friend Dara. I've got this one in the house. It's really important to me, not because my son's there or anything else, but the fact that we just had beaten Crossmaglen, a massive step for our club, and for the two boys to be standing looking in, it's kind of significant, because for me personally, one of the biggest reasons I played for the club was to try and leave a legacy, and to try and create a path for the younger generations coming through that they wanted to emulate. And I think the two boys looking on after their club had just beaten Crossmaglen, probably the most famous club in Ireland, it's a magical moment, and hopefully it's something that will inspire not alone those two lads but all of their friends and the young ones to come after them to go on and emulate something that we did that night. That's one of my best mates there in the picture. That's from the night in Croke Park. And obviously it's myself and manager Jim McGuinness, and just prior to that photo I had taken a shot which I missed, and Jim, no keg words, was telling me what I should have done, and then fast forward a couple of minutes I was able to score the winner. So it's this kind of funny situation. At that time we were all about controlling the game and controlling what we could control, and I suppose me taking the shot on was something that Jim didn't approve of. But to me it also always reminds me of Rocky, where Ivan Drago's in the corner and his manager's roaring at him what to do. So thankfully I didn't listen to Jim that night and I took the last shot anyway. But it's you know what, it comes up quite a lot. I think the raw emotions of that night, I think everybody just was up to high doing. Thankfully we got over the line. In the picture, first of all, is myself and my father, Tommy, taken when I was probably about 6 years old. A lot of people may not know, but I lost my father relatively young. He was 58 when he passed away. Tough in the fact that we lost him to, I suppose, alcohol addiction. It was something that just slowly crept up on him. Massive sports person. He actually played for Liverpool underage, but unfortunately, like many others, just went down the wrong path. Yeah, it's kind of a happy and sad emotion looking at the picture, really, because coming from a family of 7, and you know, we were all relatively young when he left, and obviously when he passed away then he's missed out on so much. I have him to thank for taking me to my first ever live game, and what a game to go to. It was the All-Ireland final against Dublin in 1992, and how that came about was we were at home and my older brother Stephen wanted to go to the game, so him and his mate landed home from the disco that night and they had secured 2 tickets, but they wanted someone to drive them. So my father liked to drink at the time, my mother knew that, so the only reason he was allowed to go if I was going with him. So we drove Stephen to Dublin. Long story short, my father the gift of the gab, and he managed to talk both of us into Croke Park without a ticket, and we got to see the game. And afterwards we spent 2 days in Dublin celebrating in a funny kind of way. I have a lot to thank him for, because obviously Donegal won that day, and coming down the road, the buzz was all about Donegal, and I suppose ever since then my interest kind of turned towards GA, and thankfully I went on to play for Donegal for a number of years and didn't get to go back to Croke Park to go up the Hogan stands like we did that day, but yeah, definitely a good memory of that.